We live? Oh, live.
Yep. Yep. That.
So pretty. Of course. Right. Of course. Just a
Mhm.
wee bit.
Hi.
Yeah, don't mind
eh,
our random ramblings.
Yeah. No, it'll be fine.
It's totally on brand for us. What? Huh? Okay. I'm just weaving in the ends. I'm done. Really. Look, I made a nice little coaster. I just need to weave in the end.
No.
I don't wanna. I don't
You
wanna.
gotta. It's your turn.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, for anyone actually listening to this hot mess, welcome back to Above the Table Talks. Tonight we're going to be interviewing Cocia about her character Beth. Oh, is this going on my papers? Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. So, with that said, obviously, I think you know the crew at this point if you've been here for more than like a minute. Um, Normally, storyteller, we have Tori played by Feyla. We have Buttons playing normally Shiloh. We have Nen normally playing Steven. And then the other person is Beth and Cocia. It's not like that's the entire reason why we're here right now. Um, yeah. So, get a little bit of a dive into Beth and the character that is Beth. So, where do we want to start? Do we want to start out at like what happened with Beth's whole thing, or do we want to just start at the beginning of Beth and how she was Woo Girl? Okay, that seems fitting, especially since given what happened. So, um, I could start a little bit. I mean, Gosia knows the character a whole lot better than me, but we kind of hit a little bit of why Beth is the way she is now. Poor life choices leading to a spur of the moment embrace, which led to some more bad life choices, which led to her like turning her life around, sort of. However, I'm going to let you take it from the beginning. Tell as much as you want to tell. You don't have to tell everything because they don't know everything.
Know everything. I completely wing Beth like 90% of the time. But so let's start at the very beginning. Beth is the child of a war widow. Her father died in the war. In 1960, that would have been the Vietnam War, if I remember my history correctly. So she is a war, proud of the war. And once her dad died, her mom checked out completely. So kind of a really crap childhood. Just as her mom was starting to turn her life around, Beth was just like, "Yeah, no, I don't care," and was a runaway. So she ran off and got into drugs and drinking and all that kind of stuff.
aka turned into a woo girl.
Woo woo. Yeah.
Yeah, I was being serious when I said that. I know we joke a lot here, but that time I was being 100% serious. It's great.
Yep.
Um, so obviously we know her and her sire didn't have a very good relationship,
Nope.
especially at this point. If you haven't actually watched the last game, go ahead and watch that. It's great. Has it come out yet? Yeah. Or just watch it on Twitch. Watch it here
Or,
just later.
or just mute this, let it run, and watch the other video, and then watch this again.
Yeah, sure. That works too. So um, specifics about the embrace, we're not going to go over too much, but it was on New Year's Day, correct?
Yes, it was New Year's Day, 1982.
Yep. And it was very much a spur of the moment. We're going to do this because this seems like a good idea by, you know,
By
the,
Nate.
yeah. I was trying to find a nice way of putting a very derogatory term in there, but I couldn't. He was an ass. Let's straight up be honest here. Um,
Mhm.
but anyway, Nate did very little teaching, fostered a toxic environment, and probably kept her around for what, it was 6 months.
6 months up to a year. Beth was not clean at that point in time. She was still drinking from a lot of people that were doing drugs. So her memory is very fuzzy from that time period.
So if Steven drank from people, it would be hardcore Steven. I mean, oh yeah, no,
No,
no, Nate,
I
Nate
I like
knew. He, yeah, no, he knew. He
I
just
like to think
didn't
that
care.
he taught her everything wrong on purpose just to be a dick, which
No,
would
he.
explain why she has occult stuff but doesn't know anything.
So basically, the thought process that I had behind Nate was when Cocia handed me backstory. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna make this one like a foster parent that doesn't really want to foster, just wants the money for it, which unfortunately is a lot of foster parents, especially in low income areas, um, which never turns out great. I mean, and typically will result in a child of circumstances that may not have the best temperament or mental state. And I believe Buttons can attest to that one. Um, Met a whole lot of kids in that situation, great kids, but met a whole lot that weren't. So yeah, and I feel like that's kind of the situation that Beth and Nate had. Was Nate had to take care of Beth for a little bit because it was his responsibility, technically speaking. And at this point, did we ever figure out exactly where Beth was embraced? I don't know if we.
No, you said you were gonna surprise me with that. You had a club picked out, but
Yep,
that's as far as we got.
yep, I did. Um, so I kind of picked a couple different places. One being like Dallas, and what were all the ones that I had? There were like 7 of them. It would have been one of the clubs that Nate ran, and I feel like it probably would have been in a Camarilla city. Would have ended up being like New York. So he would have been required to at least show that he was trying to teach you, until he just like kicked you out. Didn't teach you anything, just kind of made you hang around and like stay out of his way. Which I mean is pretty on brand for him. Let's be honest here. Um, so yeah, and then after all that happened, and Beth was out by her lonesome. What all did she do? Did she go anywhere special? Did she like? How long did it take her to like get her stuff together?
To get her shit in order, it would have taken her a few years, probably. She's been sober for about 30 years, 30 to 35 years. So it took her a while. Once she started getting sober, I'm so sorry. Once she started getting sober, she probably would have eventually tried to make her way back home. And just to find out that right after she left, her mother couldn't take it and probably died of like a heart attack or something, just from like the stress, the loneliness. So
The other circumstances that arose,
yeah,
yeah, which we'll dive into that later. Don't think I haven't got that on the list of things to like mess with. That goes for everybody, by the way. It's just starting out. I was like, let's not completely just like destroy their mental psyche. Mortal
everything.
families mainly. Yeah. Yes. Then I believe everybody except for no, actually Steven's got some mortals too, so that's fun. Um, but yeah, so she kind of traveled around a little bit, got herself clean, made her way back to Atlanta or back to New York, and then to Atlanta
Probably back to New York, and then just slowly drifted down south.
after she realized I don't have a whole lot there anymore.
Nope, don't have a whole lot there. Don't have a whole lot anywhere. Atlanta
Okay.
seemed fun at the time. Let's just do it.
And it would have seemed familiar to a certain point. Um, because at that time it still was camera controlled, albeit for like 2 years until the Sabbat came in and just started destroying things. Um, which I mean, the Sabbat would have been there, but it would have been quote unquote camera controlled. Um, so would have felt comfortable and new and exciting and other things for Beth. Um, during the whole Sabbat like occupation, let's call it that. We very, 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 very lightly touched on this, but have you taken any more thought of to like where exactly she was? Because you said she wouldn't have been in the city because she ain't about that life.
Yeah, nope, not about that life. Too much hassle. Um, Whenever all the Sabbat stuff was going down, she was probably in, in a neighboring state. Not even in a neighboring city, in a neighboring state, just trying to get away from it.
Okay, so
What,
like
like Tennessee or Georgia or something like that?
in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, one of those. Okay, and then once the Inquisition happened and everything kind of died down a little bit, she came back. Did she have any real motive of coming back, or just well, I mean, why not?
Seems safe. Let's just trodrel. I don't even know what that means. Oh my gosh. Just trudge on back.
Okay. And to be fair, I mean, let's be honest here. That's pretty on brand for Bruja. This seems like a good idea, so I'm gonna just do it.
There's no need to think things through. It's fine. Just go with it.
Yeah. Completely independent city. There's no barons. There's no princes. There's no bishops. There's no nothing like that. It'll be fine. And then you get a call from somebody that's like, "Hey, I need you to pick somebody up from wherever," and you meet Shiloh.
Yeah. Thanks, Shiloh, for dragging me into all this. It's all your fault.
But
Really not.
Careful.
but then you get Dolly, so that it's positive.
Yeah.
You meet Barney, and then you eventually meet the rest of the coterie,
Yeah.
barons. You start doing quite a bit of work for all of them, actually, and one would say some of them actually might start to like you a little bit.
Maybe a smidge.
Yeah, jury's still out on that Baron Griffith, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meh. Some gangrel.
yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, that's why I was gonna go by last name. Um, yeah, that's true, isn't it? It's okay. Anyway, moving on, and then stuff happens, and you're called to a club
Mhm.
by Giovanni.
Mhm. That went great, guys. That went great.
It was a fun night. What was going through Beth's mind when Nate come walking in?
Oh, that was just so much. It was just like flashbacks to being turned, all that anger and frustration, a little bit of anxiety, feeling like she had to go back to, a more subservient role, and then was just like, no, he doesn't have control of me anymore.
Okay, so she obviously had quite a bit of anxiety, maybe a little bit of post traumatic stress happening.
Maybe. I think that's part of the reason why I had her go more into like a flirt, uh, manner of speaking, just to kind of like give herself control again.
Then it kind of reverts back to something that she'd be comfortable with, especially dealing with this manner of persons.
Yep.
Um, because you already knew that the Giovanni were very dangerous. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
So
really didn't want to piss Joey off.
yeah, and then Nate was there, and you were like, I don't want to fuck with him either, really. Which I did actually have like an actual like character sheet for him, in case if it actually turned out to be like a decent fight, which it wasn't gonna be. Um, had a whole lot of manipulation and subterfuge, one strength, one brawl.
As a player, I really was. Just because I hated Nate so much, but I don't think it really fit Beth to fully commit to the opera. Oh my gosh, the opera.
Yes,
I'm
that
not
one.
gonna try that, huh? Thank you.
Eating folks.
But yeah, as a player, I was so tempted just because I wanted all the experience and stuff. but I was a good girl ish.
I mean, you stopped.
I just
And
had
then
a
you
good
just
face.
you stopped, and then you just like grabbed his chin and started pulling. It's fine.
Pop
Yeah.
goes Daisy.
And you blacked out there for a second. It's fine. No problems there. And then a club full of people died. How did that make Beth feel?
I don't think she wants to think about her part in that at all. Because if she fully allowed herself to think about all of the patrons that died, would feel so guilty.
To be fair, it was only like 20, but still.
That's
Only.
a lot of people.
Right. And when you kind of think about it, like it was literally them or her. So self-preservation,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna penalize you for that one.
Thank you. Yeah.
To be
Her
fair,
life is a little bit more important than some random mortals that she doesn't know. She didn't technically kill them, she just had a little part in it.
it's kind of like Shiloh's thing where she didn't technically kill Dennis, but had a part in it. Tori, on the other hand, has killed people.
Technically, Beth has two. I've said no. Yeah, I've said that Beth has killed some homeless people whenever she lost control of feedings.
Yeah, when she first
I know
started.
quite the same thing, but it's a little
Yeah.
bit bad.
Now, here's my next question. Given the options that were kind of laid out for you, did you have any like want to try to negotiate or anything like that?
Um, not really. Beth is not the smartest person whenever it comes to negotiations and stuff like that. She can manipulate people a little bit, but it didn't feel like a good idea to try to manipulate someone much older than her.
I mean, he was only at least generations older than you.
Yeah, just a few.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
Fine.
Giovanni tend to be old. I'm sorry, except for Amp.
Yeah, he's special.
Yeah, they were hoping that he'd be a little bit more gung ho in the family business. That didn't work.
And he's not. And he's probably now terrified of Beth, which is great.
Um, less than you would think. However, yeah, he's not gonna mess with Beth a whole lot. Amp never left. No, he technically was right down the street from the club that they met at. Well, Atlanta's in Georgia, but yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no, he's technically like 20 minutes outside of Atlanta. Yes, going forward, you will see more of him. Probably more sustained of him because Amp is fun because he's clueless and he's old, technically speaking. Like he's an old generation, but he's brand new and he's clueless about it. It's great. Not clueless, but yeah, you know. He's a Zoomer. So yeah. Well, no, actually, whatever's after the millennials. He's one of those. Yeah, so he's a Zoomer. So yeah, you and he's not one of the smart ones. He's one of the I don't really want to work ones and wants to kind of do his own thing ones. Like if he could get away with it, he would be a TikTok influencer. I mean, true, but no. Um, but yeah. Anyway, with the whole Beth Amp exchange there at the end, what was Beth thinking? Just out of curiosity.
Whenever he kept asking if I was okay,
Between "Are you okay?" and what happened and all that fun stuff.
I honestly thought he was just checking to see if I was Nate or if Nate had taken me over.
Partially,
I don't know how the drinking of the diablerie worked.
yeah, we've got a whole thing of it, and
I
me
mean,
and
Beth
Faye have
definitely
figured that
doesn't know how it
stuff out.
works. So, I did it! I finally said
Yeah,
it! Go me!
the key is just don't think about it. But yeah, no, that was part of it. He was checking to make sure that you were still you. He heard a whole bunch of screaming, and then chaos. So he was like, Are you physically okay? Because no, I don't like this."
Beth was fine. I mean, she probably looked like she was through hell, but she didn't have a scratch on her. Just her shoes and her dress got ruined.
Yeah, a little bit. It's fine. It wasn't your money anyway.
It wasn't my money anyways.
Um, but we had our first official humanity loss.
Hi guys, that's me. I lost humanity.
Um, Next question is, and this doesn't go just for Cocia. How does everybody feel about that?
It was fine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Moral
Right.
quandaries are always so much fun to explore. I'm really excited to see where this goes.
And we might see a feeding change. Just saying.
It'll be fun.
And how about Nen? How does Nen feel about the whole Beth situation, humanity, and all that fun stuff?
Definitely interesting story wise. Like you guys said, I'm excited to see where it goes.
I mean, in Beth's defense, I think she's still about average with everybody else. Now at 7, I think Tori's still the lowest. Yeah. Nope.
If anybody is going to get that, it would be Shiloh.
I think so. I agree with that. Go Shiloh. We have faith.
Oh yeah, I could have seen it. That's at one point.
Yeah. Now going forward, seeing what feeding habit she embraces, we will figure it out from there. whether it be more scene queen or something of that nature. Who knows?
Yeah, probably something of that nature. Because if at all possible, I'd rather not have to change my herd out completely. But if I have to, I have to. It'll just be really awkward, and the whole masquerade breach. I think you're right. Yeah.
What you mean, like a touchstone gets messed with? Yeah. Now, in the aftermath, Beth decided to shut down the gentleman's club with the all of like 5 dancers that were there. It wasn't very big, wasn't very active. Let's put it that way. It was also like a Thursday or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the exact day that I said, but yeah, was not a peak night. Let's put it that way. And she is opening up a bar and grill, correct?
Yeah. Cheryl's Pub.
Yeah, Cheryl's Pub. See, I was completely open to like making jokes about this one, seeing as like I already said something about an anarchist cookbook to Steven, and you all are technically anarchs.
I mean, her mind can be changed once she tells the coterie about this after they're done trying to kick her butt.
Now I'm sure that would be a little bit obvious. Yeah. Especially given like yes, the Second Inquisition's not active anymore, but like the people are still around. We've already met one of the operatives, so they're still alive. Granted, the operatives might be in a state that they're not necessarily fully taking. Yeah, the majority probably are, but that one certainly wasn't. Even with the Tremere Bane of you cannot bond somebody. Okay, that's fair. So that would have been terrible for that dude. Anyway, back to so being a little bit too overt and obvious probably is still not okay. So Anarch's Pub and Grill, probably not the best, but I was 100% gonna like be open to like jokes like that. No, definitely not.
I mean, that could be a secret menu item, like a secret drink or something, cocktail.
I mean, it could be, and it's just like straight tequila with like moonshine, something like that. Yeah,
Made from real blood from a girl named Mary.
from distilled by a woman named Tori. I mean that honestly could be a thing. And the whole 98 bottles was another thing that I know we kind of threw around and was joking about, but you know, again, we theoretically could do that.
We'll, we'll see what the coterie decides whenever Beth tells him, "Hey, I got a new place for us. By the way, I'm working for the Giovanni. It's okay."
And I'm laundering money.
I'm a money launderer now, guys. But hey, good news. They no longer want Ian for Dante. I did good. I'm honestly thinking of blood bonding them at the very least. Maybe gluing them if I absolutely have to, though I'd rather not. But, bonding them just for that added security.
So pretty much bonding everybody that worked at the original club.
Yeah. They don't need to be goals, but, just bonded so they keep their mouths shut. We don't play by Nate's rules here, okay? We don't do the don't ask, don't tell.
Which, technically speaking, Beth has a discipline that she can just kind of do a similar thing.
Yeah. I could indeed do that.
So you might have just expanded her herd just a little bit.
Although if they drink and do drugs, I will not be feeding from them.
I'm sure the bartender probably drinks. I'm sure one of the servers probably does some sort of drugs.
Yep.
No, I was gonna say Cheryl has to smoke at least a couple packs a day to deal with Nate. So
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
Speaking of Nate, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
If Nate had not crossed Beth's path at the at the club, do you think Beth would have eventually tried to seek him out and get closure or deal with him in one way or another if that opportunity had not already been presented?
No, she definitely wouldn't have. Out of sight, out of mind. He was deep down in the closet until he popped up.
Okay.
That was a skeleton you were going to let stay buried?
Oh, yeah. And then you were like, here you go. Have him on a silver platter.
Yeah. That's basically what I did. To be fair, I kind of sort of did that with Steven sort of as well. Of, hey, they're right here. If you want to do something, say something. By all means, go ahead. Tori, we've already established that that's probably not going to happen. And I don't think Shiloh wants to do anything like that.
It honestly kind of sounds like Shiloh might be the only one that has a decent relationship with their sire. Decent in, like, the baseline of that word.
I would be willing to argue that probably a good relationship. All things considered, of course. So, next question. What's best plans moving forward? Just as a broad overview, since, you have a couple businesses now.
Yeah. Her life is no longer peaceful. It's getting really busy. So, I don't know. The Double Georges seem to have the garage pretty well in hand. So probably pull her focus a bit more to getting the pub and grill up working the way she would like to see it run. Probably actually giving the staff decent pay, unlike Nate did Nate probably paid them the bare minimum. So
I mean, I believe his exact words were, "I'm not paying you more than once." Pretty sure the only person that he was actually paying was Darnell.
so yeah, make sure that everybody actually gets proper payment and stuff, and make it look as legit of a business as possible.
Okay. I have good news for you. You have a meat distributor already on hand.
Hey, I do.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. You have somebody that can brew up some special alcohol shortly. Yeah, not yet. Yeah. It's ground meat. It's red and it's ground. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, so far he's only sold it to Tori's dog for their dog, so not like people are eating people.
Yeah, probably. As far as like, hey, I need X, Y, or Z. Doesn't necessarily have to be like people, but like just, hey, I need something to feed my dogs. Or all the scraps that like are still edible, but they're just gonna
Like
throw
nobody
away
wants to
anyway.
eat.
Chicken, pork, and beef byproducts.
Yeah, stuff they put in hot dogs. Um, I'm sorry.
Well, they put the stuff they supply the Tori supplies Steven in the hot dogs too. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to
Anyway,
feel like we need a trigger warning on this video.
now it's just hot dogs. Yeah. Unfortunately, Beth kind of comes with
Yeah,
that.
Beth comes with baggage.
That's yeah. I
Indeed.
believe that's literally page 1. Yeah, I feel like people. Anyway, um, so yeah, we covered Beth Prior, Beth Current, Beth Future Light. So since we did it for Shiloh, what does Beth think of the coterie in general?
Coterie in general. Um, let's see. Steven would probably be like the younger brother that just hangs around. And Shiloh's probably like the first friend he ever really had. Tori is scary, but in like the good way.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't mess with Tori. Although Beth still tries every now and again, just a little bit, pushes her boundaries.
So Tori is that one teacher in high school that everybody's has had for Beth that it's like, I don't want to mess with them and I don't understand why, but I know I don't want to mess with them.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
For that like 1 year of high school that Beth actually took.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah, Beth is a high school dropout. Hey guys. Yeah, I decided that just rather recently while I was looking at her stats and realized she has no education and 1 intelligence, and I'm like, why would she have that? High school dropout. Yep.
I mean, that's fair.
But it also plays up with being a runaway drug addict. So
Yeah.
let's be honest, she probably did.
Or at least attempted to.
Or, yeah, at least attempted to. Or at the very least was a groupie.
I mean, that's fair. Let's see here. What else can we ask? Oh, the Barons. What does Beth think about the Barons?
Carissa is touchy-feely, and she is really creeped out by it. Doesn't like it. Victor comes off as fairly decent, but like as soon as you start actually spending time with him, it's quite obvious that he's ass. Johnny is the best, although after the whole Baron thing, because I'm sure Shiloh and Tori both informed everybody of like how Johnny was just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just side with whoever. That probably would have left a little bit of a bad impression. Dante's just Dante. That doesn't help much, but like he's just kind of there. She doesn't really know him that well. He does tattoos.
I mean, that's fair.
And brings us problems that we have to deal with all the time. And then there's Tori, which we already covered. Tori's scary. You don't want to mess with her, but you gotta push the boundaries every now and again just to egg her on. I'm not afraid. Probably. No, it's just like a overall like vibe I feel like that Tori gives off. It's just like the whole don't fuck with me, don't look at me funny, I will fuck you up.
Doesn't Tori have the obvious predator flaw?
Yeah. So it's just like a yeah, so it's not like a total like terrified, scared of Tori. It's just more of a, you know, gives off that slight scary vibe and that she normally doesn't want to mess with, but every now and again she's just like, Tori, I'm gonna poke you, poke the bear. Let's see. There is renaming your ghoul, both of them. So there's that. Remember I used to call him Blaze instead of Blitz? No, but we can say it was. Always giving her the yellow car. Could easily give you Dolly, but not that it's much better. Yeah, just I don't know. I feel like every now and again, like just some mannerisms of Beth, there's just like a small subtle poke. Probably everybody would probably bother Tori the most. I try. I'm not the best at all this stuff, but I'm trying.
Okay, now everybody's burning question. What does she think about Red? Oh, he was next.
I actually like Red. I do. He's 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 like the like everybody's favorite annoying cousin.
He's the drunk uncle.
Or that drunk uncle works too.
I mean, let's
But
be
yeah,
honest.
I actually like Red and like all the chaos that he brings to the table.
Yeah. He's the most Bruja Nosferatu that I could come up with.
Mm-hmm. Probably why Beth likes him so much.
Yeah. And then as far as Barney, is concerned.
Barney's also pretty great. I like him. He's definitely almost like a caring older brother. You know, he definitely looks after everybody, even if he does want payment of one kind or another.
I mean, you can't do things for free.
Of course not.
Not all the time, at least. And then, person that Beth only interacted with a couple times. Samal.
Sammy. Yeah, Sammy seems fine. I love how you both just rolled your eyes at me.
And in
Samal
his
seems
words,
great.
no, Samal.
No. He said I could call him Sam. But if I keep calling him Sammy, it probably will become Samal and Samal only.
No. Yeah, no. You're right.
I think that's a little bit more of Cocia coming through than fully Beth. It just seemed like something fun to do that would be not quite on brand for Beth, but would help help Beth need the Kindred 101.
I mean, that's fair. I was personally going to chalk it up to daddy issues.
I mean, there's that too. I mean, she doesn't have a daddy, so Although George Senior is only 10 years older than her, so not really a daddy.
Yeah, that's fine, though.
Still could be.
Yeah. Probably not, but could be, technically speaking. But yeah, no. He's I intentionally made him more of a father figure to see how he would be received.
I think
And
it's going over well.
intentionally made him have a sordid past with his children as well to see how Beth received. So it's going decent.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad though. She hasn't gotten that present that he supposedly got her that you mentioned. Kind of has ignored him for the past 2 days. And then he got kidnapped.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, she was not very happy with it. That's why another reason why she was like, yeah, okay, I'll work for you. Leave him alone.
These are my kids. You stay away from my kids.
Fine. He's mine. I found him all on my own. You can't have him.
I mean, that's fair. Kind of like a protective. Wouldn't necessarily even say like mother at that point. It'd be like protective, like older cousin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. And then my personal burning question. I know we've talked about it slightly. Beth's quote unquote dream car being the car from Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. I also have found her dream motorcycle, which was, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I wrote it down on my phone. Let me pull it up. I apologize for being unorganized. Utility notes. Dream Bicycle is an Indian Chief dark horse.
One of the new ones?
I don't know. I just looked up bikes and I saw that one. I was like, that looks nice.
Okay, so here's the fun fact about that one. My dad has the one smaller than that, and he
Of
loves
course.
it. So you know,
Um, I think she's more used to a car, so probably car over bike. But like a weekend bike would be. I could see that being something that she would want.
tool around with Tori bike. I can
Yeah,
also see
Tori, come on.
Shiloh.
Hello, join us. Steven, join us. Come on. Let's join a biker gang.
No, Steven not so much, but I could see Shiloh getting like a old Honda Rebel or something.
Probably.
Steven can sit behind one of the girls.
Steven will just
No,
hold
he's got to
Blitz.
be in the sidecar. He's got to be in the sidecar with one of those police detector things.
Yep,
Well,
definitely would do that.
he's got to hold on to Blitz. We'll get there. We got other things to tend to first. So without giving anything away, and if you can't not give things away, um, you should know what the text messages are that you received, or at least one of them.
I think I do. Yeah.
Her immediate response to that.
Oh shit.
That's fair. And we will have to wait to figure out what all of those messages are until Tori is done. It's great. But yeah, I think. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to ask?
I actually have a question. This is more for Cocia than about Cocia than Beth. Um, Knowing what you do now about the World of Darkness, having played for a while and kind of getting into it at least a little bit more than you did when you started off, if you were going to rebuild Beth, would you do anything differently?
I would actually. I was actually talking to Dangle about this. My gosh, I'm blanking on the freaking word again. All I can think of is celery every single time, and I hate it. Oh my gosh.
Celerity.
Celerity?
Thank you. Oh my god. I don't know why. Every single time I'm just like celery. Yeah, celerity. I would have put uh points into celerity instead of um brain please work. Sorry. I'm trying to think of what points
Presence.
into. No, I still would have done presence since well maybe a little bit less in presence. But the other one that um
Unswayable mind that you have.
that's from um
Yeah.
the feeding thing. Yeah, no, I just would have switched presence and celerity a bit more. Putting in more celerity for the whole runaway, get fleetness instead of the whole lingering kiss thing.
I mean, that's fair.
Probably would have also redone maybe not her stats, but her skills a bit because as having occult really doesn't make any sense. Um, so a few little things changes like that.
I mean, that's fair. Then we might be able to do a workaround rebuild for everybody a little bit. Now that everybody's played a little bit, as long as it's nothing major, we might be able to work on that if you want to. Because I don't know. I know you said that you wanted to change a couple things. I don't I know there's one thing that Faye wants to swap to, but we're already getting that in the works. And then I don't know about Nen. I'm pretty sure Buttons is pretty good with Shiloh as is. So yeah, if it's a general consensus, if I want to change a couple little things here and there, we can probably work into that and just say that you retrained yourself. Um, but yeah,
I have another follow-up question, if that's okay. Piggybacking off of gaining new insight as we've played, is there any uh, have we announced Faye's thing on here yet? No? Okay. Um, so going forward, okay. Yeah. Um, going forward, is there anything in particular that you learned from your experience of building Beth that you would carry over into creating a different character?
Yeah, I with Lottie, um, which is for Faye's game, I did a lot more research, and I have links saved, and I'm making sure that everything actually makes sense. And Faye's definitely also making sure that things make sense. Like I had one flaw, and he's like, why that? That's very religious. That doesn't make sense." And I'm like, "Oh, I just kind of picked it at random. Let me fix that." So I think she's more um, balanced at the start, at the very least. Yes, thank you.
yeah, for what I know of that particular character, that struck me as a bit odd too. But it was like, okay, well, cool, whatever. Had Beth gotten it, I probably would have been like, yeah, no. Even with my very liberal, yeah, go ahead and do whatever.
Yes,
That one, I
that
would have
is
been,
very much just
"Mm,
do whatever. It's fine.
we'll fix it later. It's fine. It's later, and we're gonna try to fix it a little bit."
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it didn't make sense. So I changed it, and it's fine. I think things look better now.
I'm excited
Secret.
for everybody in that game.
Me too.
I can't remember if we touched on this during Shiloh's interview, but what does Beth think of Cyril?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah, that is a good one. I think you guys sometimes think that I'm talking out of character, but no, Beth thinks that he should be a Baron. She thinks that'll solve so many problems. Let's just bring him in.
To be fair, he would be less Baron, more Bishop, and even that wouldn't necessarily fit him. Trust me.
Maybe not. But yeah, no. I mean, he's, he's a ginormous dick. Like she called him out on the first time she met him, but she doesn't hate him.
That's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, burn the
Partially.
rose bush.
He might actually take us up on that offer to get rid of her, and that's probably what scares me the most.
Yes and no. Yeah, So yeah, that's a fun little dynamic. We're gonna have to wait a little bit on that to figure out how that hashes out. I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's fair.
I mean,
He seems more honest about what he is compared to the others, or at least from me as a player.
I would agree with that.
I feel like the Anarch Barons are putting up a front to keep the barony,
Mm-hmm.
or putting on an act, or whatever. But he's just like, fuck off, leave me alone. Let me do my thing.
If we were to have to give him a traditional alignment, it would be lawful evil. He's not gonna lie to you. It's not gonna happen. He'll be mostly honest, and he won't really pull a whole lot. But when he does, it's purposeful. Everybody else has varying levels of evil and neutrality. None really good.
Where would Beth fall? Probably neutral good, I would assume. Or yeah, no, not lawful. Or yeah, definitely not lawful and neutral. Yes, probably neutral good is my guess.
Oh man, that is an interesting question. Nowadays I would put Shiloh towards uh maybe lawful good, but prior to her encounters, quote unquote, with the Camarilla, I would have put her at chaotic good, because she still would have had that rebellious streak in her at that point.
Yeah, no, Shiloh's 100% lawful good. Currently, there's yeah, there's a whole lot of like, I want to do good by everybody. Best more like straight up neutral to me personally.
I was
She has
debating if she was or not, and I was like, I feel like she might do a little bit more good than playing the lines, so that's why I said neutral good.
yeah, definitely has good streaks at the very least. So an argument could be made for both. Um, being able to see the backstory, the full backstory, is the only reason why I don't give the good. So that's
I don't know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
I can see more, but just by what's going on, I could see good being thrown in there. Steven, there's chaotic. There's no other.
I'd say chaotic neutral.
Borderline good.
Definitely not totally opposed to helping out people.
And then Tori is just Tori Tori. Yeah, there's anyway. Moving on from that, because Tori's got a whole lot of shit that we could be here forever. Um, let's see here. Other questions that we could be asking. Does anybody have any other questions?
I'm sorry, I'll be right.
Okay. Um, so yeah. you don't have any questions, I don't have any other questions. Um, so yeah, we can. I guess we can start wrapping this up. Um, Announcements. You want to go round robin, or you just want me to ramble through all of them? Okay, so start it off then. First announcement. Obviously, Faye's got a game coming up. I'll let Faye do that one. Um, However, our schedule's going to change slightly. I'm going to do VtM Tuesdays and Saturdays, correct? And then Call of Cthulhu on Thursdays. Uh, right. Mainly, like, I know I've got a little mini vacation coming up. So if I'm unable to run on a Saturday or whatever, then, or if Faye is not feeling up to it on Tuesday or something comes up during, like, on a Thursday, we'll go ahead and do it then. Um, so that's first kind of big announcement. Slight schedule change for the better. More games, less of these, which for better or for worse. Um, Second for me, like, follow, subscribe, let us know how we're doing on all of our social media stuff: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. Here, obviously. We have a Discord. Join the Discord, please. Um, then you can actually, like, talk to us directly, and I know I'll respond. I know Faye will respond, and I know Cocia will respond. Buttons will respond when able, and as will Nen. Um, but yeah, no, if you want to talk to us directly instead of, like, comments and stuff, you can do that there. Uh, to go along with that, if you are looking for anything else, we have a website, totalpartykrit.com. It has links to everything, um, including our Patreon. If you are able to throw a couple bucks, maybe, I don't know. We got some fun stuff on there. Um, yes. Um, Speaking of stuff and, like, telling everybody, uh, everybody likes dice. Everybody wants dice, and if you don't, you're wrong. Um, on our website and Linktree and socials and all this other fun stuff, there's a link to go to dicelegion.com/totalparkrit. You get fun stuff like dice and dice trays and keychains and stickers and all this fun other fun stuff. You get a discount when you check out with that, and um, we get a little bit of the money that you spend. It's great for us, great for them, great for you. You get money off, they get money, and we get a little bit of money. They get more sales, helps them out. Small business, we like small business. Um, so yeah, and then let's see here, what else we got going on? I know we're setting up some merch stuff too, right? Yep, and Faye has done the majority of like the design on that. So we have given ideas. Faye has made them come to life. So for the most part, I think Buttons did a couple things. I could be wrong there, but okay. Well, that'll work. So yeah, like I said, we all had input. Faye made him come to life. He's pretty good at this stuff. Turns out. Um, yeah. Um, so I'm gonna hand it over to Faye and let her tell you about her game. Yeah. When Faye was like, "Hey, I want to run a game," I was like, "I had the perfect character for that," and I had it built in like 3 hours. So this is true. So you might see just random things from your favorite characters in all of the games. Yeah, or everybody's favorite werewolf and Johnny. That's yeah, that's a whole thing. But yeah, now if you want to see something specific, we're taking suggestions 100%. Um, if you want to like ask us questions, let us know. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty much everything though, right? All right. So yeah, still doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Still find us on Twitch. It's 9:30, 8:30 Central. Um, and you can still find us on Spotify, iHeart, I believe, right? Um, yep. So let your friends know, have them start listening to us. Leave a review on all of them if you can. I mean, I know some of them are a little bit more hard to do that with, so I get it. But leave a review; it helps us kind of get out there to everybody else. And yeah, yes. However, if you can review, I would say just give us 5 star, but honest reviews also work. That way we can fix what we aren't doing well.
And we know we have some issues and we have been working towards fixing them. So, you know, virtual tabletops, it's the whole beast.
Yeah. it's great. Anyway, that being said, I think that is truly everything. So stay safe, stay warm because it's been cold in many parts of the America, well, U.S. And have a good night.
Do dreams.